Today, the GMs of the FSA's Foxtrot Dynasty will learn what position they will be picking from when drafts begin on 8 May, and they'll find out in about 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to a special edition of the Fanatically Real broadcast, as today we will be hosting the Foxtrot Dynasty Draft Selection Show. This is where the general managers of the Foxtrot Dynasty League are to find out where they will be picking from when the drafts begin for all of our dynasties on 8 May. Today, joining me in the studio, we've got a couple of the general managers with us. Maria is here with us from the Atlanta Legends. Josh is here with us from the New York Sentinels. And Brian is here with us from the Cedar Rapids Titans. How are all of you?
Good.
Oh, look at that. Look at the shirt he put on just for you, Josh. Look at that. A last-second wardrobe change just for you.
Yeah, I like that.
I figured if this is going to be a fantasy football episode, so to speak, then we might as well wear something that's football.
I love it. That's good stuff. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Eric, I'm surprised you're not in the studio with us, man. Jump in here if you have the chance to.
Speaking of which, since Eric's here, I might as well just show him what I'm wearing.
Nice. Look at that. Look what Josh is wearing for you.
That's like all I wear nowadays is just FSA shirts.
I need to get me some more. I mean, I probably need an Angry Commiss shirt. It's probably what I need. I mean, that'd probably be the most relevant one right now. All right, so for those of you, if they only had a quarterback, man, that's messed up. For those of you who have not watched a draft selection show before, what we're going to do is first we're going to go through the parade of teams. These are the 12 teams that make up the Foxtrot Dynasty. And then we're going to go through the actual draft selection show. If you haven't seen it before, you're going to see some digital dice get rolled across the screen. Some of them are position dice. Some of them are action dice. You'll pick up on it really, really quick as we get ready to do this. Nobody's spot in the draft is safe until the dice stop rolling. And something new that we've added this year is on our very last roll, where sometimes it could just be the board stays the way that it is. We're going to continue rolling until we have one more action that affects the board before we call it quits. So something new that we've added. So some of you probably watched the Echo Dynasty Draft Selection Show. We had no snake eyes during Echo. Me personally, I'm hoping again for no snake eyes during the Foxtrot Dynasty, but I know that's no fun for you all. So we'll see how that goes. But before we get started, let's get into this parade of teams. All right, we're going to start off with the Atlanta Legends, and we got Maria in the studio with us today. The Atlanta Legends were a professional American football team based in Atlanta, Georgia, and one of the 8 members of the Alliance of American Football, the AAF. It was short-lived, only played one season from February 2019 to April 2019. Played their home games at Georgia State Stadium on the campus of Georgia State University. Legends were one of 2 AAF teams based in a city that already had an NFL team, the Atlanta Falcons, and the other one being the Arizona Hotshots, which was where the NFL Cardinals are based. On April 2nd, 2019, the league's football operations were reportedly suspended, and on April 4th, the league allowed players to leave their contracts to sign with NFL teams. The league filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy on April 17th, 2019. Next team that we got in the parade are the Bay Area Sea Lions and their general manager, Evan Jacoby. So the Bay Area Sea Lions were part of the A11 Football League, which was a proposed professional American football league that was announced in 2013 and originally planned on beginning play in 2014, but folded before taking the field. The A11FL planned on playing a spring and summer schedule using modified NFL rules that allowed the A11 offense, which was a system which potentially allows all 11 offensive players to be eligible receivers, thus creating a more wide open game. The A11FL introduced 6 of its 8 planned franchises in April 2013 and announced a 7th proposed team several months later. Franchises were to be distributed into major markets across the United States, with 5 of the 7 teams reviving names of franchises in the United States Football League of the 1980s. The league never got off the ground. Next team that we got in the parade of teams is the Cedar Rapids Titans. General manager Brian is with us today. The Cedar Rapids Titans, who later became the Cedar Rapids River Kings, were a professional indoor football team based in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The River Kings joined the IFL, which is the Indoor Football League, as an expansion team in 2011. and first took the field for the 2012 season. The Titans were the first indoor team to be based in Cedar Rapids. Titans have appeared in 2 United Conference Championship games, both in 2013 and 2014, where they lost to the Sioux Falls Storms both times. During the 2018 season, the Titans were sold to new ownership, announced that they would rebrand for 2019 with a Name the Team contest, eventually taking on the Cedar Rapids River Kings name. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the River Kings went dormant for at least the 2021 season. Next up is the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. Frankfurt Yellow Jackets and their general manager, Eric O'Neill, which is part of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football podcast. We know he's out there watching right now. Frankfurt Yellow Jackets were a professional American football team, part of the National Football League from 1924 to 1931, even though its origins date back to as early as 1899 with the Frankfurt Athletic Association. In the early 20s, the Frankfurt Athletic Association's Yellow Jackets gained the reputation of being one of the best independent football teams in the nation. During the 1922 and 1923 seasons, the Yellow Jackets compiled a 6-2-1 record against teams from the National Football League. This led to the association being granted an NFL franchise in 1924. The Yellow Jackets won the NFL championship in 1926, and on October 26, 1931, the Yellow Jackets defeated the Chicago Bears 13-12 at Wrigley Field. This game marked the last time a Philadelphia-based NFL team would win an away game over the Bears until October 17th, 1999. That's a difference of 68 years when the Eagles defeated the Bears 20-16 at Soldier Field. So I get a lot of this history that I read to you all from Wikipedia. And of course, we know Wikipedia isn't the most reliable source, right? So I didn't really trust that when I wrote it up last night. So I went ahead and did my own independent research, and it is not a lie. So of course, with both teams playing in the NFC, they play each other every 4 years. I went out there, and the only time the Eagles had won was at home. They had one tie during that time frame, but the only time that they had beaten the Bears at Soldier Field wasn't again until 68 years later, 1999. Incredible streak there. So next team we got up on the parade of teams is the Maryland Maniacs and Kevin Green. Maryland Maniacs were a professional indoor football team based in College Park, Maryland, and a member of the Indoor Football League. Team began play in 2009 as an expansion team in the IFL. The Maniacs were the second indoor football team to be based in Maryland, following the Chesapeake Tide of the Continental Indoor Football League, who played in the same market. The Maniacs played their home games at Colt Fieldhouse. Inaugural season home games were held at the Showplace Arena. They left the Indoor Football League in 2011 and have been with American Indoor Football ever since, but they rebranded as the Maryland Eagles. Well, some of you were paying attention to the Discord and a little bit of the social media as we had a change of teams in between the Charlie and the Foxtrot Dynasty Leagues, as the New Jersey Generals left the Charlie League and moved over to the Foxtrot under new ownership. The new owner there is Craig Zinkavage. The New Jersey Generals were a franchise in the USFL, which is the United States Football League, established in 1982. They were to begin play in the spring and summer of 1983. The team played 3 seasons from 1983 to 1985, winning 31 regular season games and losing 25 while going 0-2 in postseason competition. Almost from the moment former President Donald Trump bought the Generals, he sought to use them as a vehicle to get an NFL team. To this end, he began advocating moving the USFL from a spring schedule to a fall schedule directly opposite the NFL. His long-term plans called for moving the Generals across the Hudson River to New York, which had not had a team play within its borders since the Jets moved from Shea Stadium in Queens to the Meadowlands. He intended to have them renamed the New York Generals play. He intended to have the renamed New York Generals play at Shea Stadium until the construction of a new 80,000-seat Trump Stadium in Manhattan. In 1984, he convinced most of his fellow owners to move to a fall schedule in 1986. Trump contended that if the USFL were to hold its own against the NFL, it would eventually force a merger with a more established league, in which the owners of any USFL team included in a merger would see their investment more than double. However, the revamped Generals never played a down. The 1986 season was canceled after the USFL won a nominal $1 verdict in an antitrust lawsuit against the NFL, and the league folded soon after. Next one on our parade of teams is the New York Sentinels. We got Josh with us here in the studio. The New York Sentinels started off, were the original team of the Hartford Colonials. They were a professional American football team that played in the United Football League in its 2009 and 2010 seasons. Charter member of the UFL, the Sentinels began playing 2009, nominally representing New York City, but playing its home games in 3 stadiums, none of which were in the city proper. League-wide financial problems and the high rate of rent at Rensselaer Field led to the league suspending the Colonials operations in August 2011, a month before it would begun play in its 3rd season. The league had stated that the Colonials would be brought back for the 2012 UFL season if it were to be played, but the announcement of the 2012 season removed Hartford's logo, which had remained on the site in 2011 with indication it had been suspended from the UFL website, and did not include the team in the league's 2012 schedule. The Colonials and Sentinels were historically the worst of the UFL's 5 teams, having a combined record of 3-11 and finishing in last place in both seasons. They held the dubious distinction of accumulating the league's only winless record of 0-6 in 2009. So congratulations to you there, Josh, on that accomplishment. The next team that we have in the parade of teams is the Oklahoma City Yard Dogs. The Oklahoma City Yard Dogs were an arena football team. The team began play as a 2004 expansion team of the Arena Football League's minor league, AF2, before becoming a member of the AFL in 2010. Formerly a tenant of the Ford Center from 2004 until 2008, the Yard Dogs were forced out when the NBA's Oklahoma City Thunder moved into town starting in 2009. The Yard Dogs played across the street at the Cox Convention Center on October 25th, 2010. Yard Dogs owner Phil Miller announced that he decided not to play in the Arena Football League for the 2011 season. We'd like to welcome Mike Hill, the general manager of the Yard Dogs. Next on the parade of teams is the Oorang Indians. They were a traveling team in the National Football League from LaRue, Ohio. The franchise was a novelty team put together by Walter Lingo to market his Oorang dog kennels. All the Indians players were Native American, with Jim Thorpe serving as its leading player and coach. The team played in the NFL League in 1922 and 1923. Of the 20 games they played over 2 seasons, only 1 was played at home, in quotes, in nearby Marion, Ohio. With a population well under 1,000 people, LaRue remains the smallest town ever to have been at the home of an NFL franchise, or probably any professional team in any league in the United States. And I decided to do a little bit more digging on this one as well. The 2010 census claims that the population of LaRue, Ohio is 747 people. Welcome Emmanuel De Jesus to the league. Next team we got is the Orlando Renegades. The Orlando Renegades were a professional American football team that played in Orlando, Florida in the USFL, the United States Football League, for a single season in 1985. Before its season in Orlando, the franchise played in Washington, D.C. as the Washington Federals for 2 years, which used to be a team here with us in FSA, and that was the one orphan team that we had this year. They played as the Washington Federals in 1983 and 1984. The franchise was the worst in USFL in terms of both gameplay and a combined record of 7-22, and attendance during its 2 seasons in Washington, prompting the move to Orlando. In Orlando, the attendance was better as the team and the team's performance on the field began to improve over the course of the season, despite a 5-13 record, but the USFL folded before the team could play a second season in Orlando. 2 more teams left to go. We got the Philadelphia Bell. They were a franchise in the World Football League, which operated in 1974 and a portion of the 1975 season. The Bell was one of just 2 World Football teams that maintained the same ownership in both 1974 and 1975. The Bell had a record of 4-7 in 1975 at the time of the league's dissolution. Attendance remained anemic, with the team's best attendance game at Franklin Field drawing barely 5,000 fans. After only 1,293 fans attended the Bell's October 18 contest, both the team and the WFL folded for good. Brett, I believe, is out there right now rocking the baby to sleep. Brett, I hope you're watching. And our final team, the Tonawanda Cardex, or the Tonawanda Lumbermen. They were known as the Tonawanda Cardex, also known as the Tonawanda Lumbermen, and during its first season, the All Tonawanda Lumberjacks. They were an American football team active between 1916 and 1921. Played its games in Tonawanda, New York, which is a suburb of Buffalo, with close ties to North Tonawanda, New York, where the American Cardex was founded. The team is most notable for its one game as a member of the National Football League in 1921, the shortest-lived team in the league's history. Records from the Pro Football Researchers Association indicated that Tonawanda had trouble scheduling games due to a lack of willing opponents. The NFL's franchise fee from 1922 also increased from $50 to $1,000, making it harder for Tonawanda to play its second season in the league. And could you imagine being able to be a member of the NFL right now for only $1,000? How is everybody?
Good.
What kind of comments have I been missing while I've been diarrhea of the mouth out there? How's it looking so far?
Pretty standard. I don't see anything out there, really.
All right. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping. I've got all of your all's banners right here. I got some new ink, so we got some good-looking banners this time versus those anemic-looking yellow ones that we had from the Echo side. I really do want to get a new printer. However, when you look at this printer, it's got a scanner on it as well, right? And the scanners that are on the market nowadays, you get about 300 DPI per scan on it. And this old scanner that I've got gets 600 DPI on it. It's hard to give up a scanner bed that does that great of scanning on it. I bought this thing when Windows 3.1 was still a thing. So I probably bought it like 1997 or 1998, and it still works great. So, yeah. The bad thing about it is it's not Wi-Fi, of course. So anytime I want to print, I have to take it back and forth between computers. So we're just going to keep rolling with it for now. So what I'm doing right now, those great banners that I just showed you, I folded them up. I am folding them up. We're going to throw them in the hat. We're going to shake it up. We're going to pull the first team out of the hat. We're going to roll a 12-sided dice, which is what you're going to see on the right-hand screen of those two that are there in the middle. And you know what? I should probably show everybody what that looks like right now as we're talking about it. So that screen right there in the middle, the right-hand side is a 12-sided die. We're going to roll it. Whatever number comes up, that first team we pull out of the hat is going to go into that slot. Then we're going to end up rolling the action dice, which is the two 6-sided dice to the left of that. And as you can see by that menu that is there on the bottom right-hand side, that is what those action dice are going to equal to. And that's what we'll do with those teams as we move along. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you're going to catch on really, really quick what it looks like. One of the things that I want to make sure that we tell all of the general managers that are in the Foxtrot League, in case you didn't already know, the draft will begin on 8 May. It is a slow draft. It'll be across email. You will get reminders from MFL when it is your turn to pick. Each pick is 6 hours long. It will start at noon on 8 May, which is a Saturday. The clock will pause every single night between midnight and 6 a.m. East Coast time. You can still make picks during that time, but the clock will be paused and nobody will get penalized because of it. And the last thing, if you didn't already know, this is a third round reversal draft. You'll have to go out once the draft order is set so you can see what that means. Basically, your draft order, what you would normally used to see in a snake draft, which is 1 through 12, 12 through 1, 1 through 12, 12 through 1. In this case, with a third round reversal, it is 1 through 12, 12 through 1, 12 through 1 again, and then 1 through 12, and it goes a snake after that. So it's a way of balancing out the teams a little bit. You will be drafting rookies and veterans, so basically free agents and rookies, however you want to look at it, and it will be for 28 rounds. The reason for the 6 hours per pick is this will allow teams to trade players and picks during that 6-hour window. So if anybody has any questions that's out there watching right now, please send them up here so Kevin can put them up on the screen. So we're going to throw them in the original Walter the Wizard hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 teams in a hat. We're going to shake the heck out of it. We're going to pull our first team out. We're going to roll that 12-sided dice, and we're going to put them on the board. So first team out of the hat is the Oorang Indians, the team that does not have a home. Oorang Indians. We're going to roll 12-sided dice and get them up on the board. They are going to go into the number 1 spot. What a great spot to start from. All right.
I don't expect them to stay there, though.
Probably not going to stay there. You're not wrong. I'm going to find my Oorang Indians, and we're going to put them in the number 1 spot, and we're going to roll some action dice. Action dice comes up with a number 9, means we are going to swap the positions with 2 D12s. There's only one team that's on the board currently. If we end up getting a number 1 out of one of these, the Oorang Indians will move into the other spots. Right now, it is a 5 and a 9, which means nobody is moving, so we're going to go back to the action dice. Action dice is 2, starting over Snake Eyes. So the only thing that we got to do is pull the Oorang Indians off. And I'm glad that it happened early, because after this, now that the Snake Eyes have been revealed, thank you. Now that the Snake Eyes have been revealed, the next time that we do roll Snake Eyes, it will be locking a team on the board instead of starting all over. So good. I can't even get excited about it because it was so early in the show this time. But thank you.
So if you roll Snake Eyes again, nothing can happen to that particular team.
So anytime a team is locked, no matter what's happening on the board, nothing can happen to them. Once they are locked, no matter what's going on. All right. Kevin,
call foul.
Kevin, you can call whatever you want.
What's the foul for?
Let's roll some action dice. We got a 5.
I think the Snake Eyes should still remove everybody again. That was way too soon.
Way too soon? No, I'm okay with that.
That was practice.
So we're going to roll
the Snake Eyes work.
I agree with Kevin. That was practice.
Yeah. We're going to roll a D12 until a spot is open to be filled, but we got to pull a team out since we don't have anybody on the board right now. Look at that. I pulled the Oorang Indians right back out again. We're going to roll a D12 to see what we put in this time.
I call foul.
1 D12. Let's see if we put him back. Well, he just moves down 1 spot. We're going to put him over in the number 2 spot now. So let's get him over in the number 2 spot. All right, let's roll some action dice. Yeah, I can't even get excited about the Snake Eyes this time. Number 7, we're going to roll a D12 until a spot gets filled. Since we only got the 1 team on the board, it's going to be pretty easy to fill this one up. We just got to pull a team out. Team that we're pulling out is the Philadelphia Bell. Let's see where
Taco Bell.
Let's figure out where we're going to put them. Can't put them in the number 2 spot. Roll again. We're going to put them in the number 9 spot. So the Philadelphia Bell, let me unlock the team first so we can move them, are going to go into the number 9 spot. And then we're going to roll the action dice again. Action dice say number 3 means we're going to pull a team from the board. We're going to pull the team from the board if we roll a 2 or a 9. We're rolling a 4, so nothing happens there. We're going to roll the action dice again. Action dice say 9, which means we're going to swap teams' positions with 2 D12s. So we will throw another 12-sided dice up here. If we roll a 2 or a 9 in any other, teams will be moving spots. Roll a 5 and a 9. So we will be moving the bell that we just put on the board up to the number 5 spot. And let's roll some action dice. Roll a number 11. That is going to be locking a team. So the only way we're going to lock is if this 12-sided dice that we roll ends up being a 2 or a 5.
Going to the jungle at Christmas tree shops.
Somebody's going to a Christmas tree shop. So everybody is safe. So we're going to throw dice again. Action dice say 8, which means we're going to roll a D12 until a spot's opened up, but we're going to pull a team out of here. So let's shake these up, pull a team off the top here. We are going to be putting on the board the Yard Dogs. Let's roll a 12-sided dice until we get him on the board. Going in the number 9 spot that just became vacant. Let me get the OKC Yard Dogs here unlocked. I'm going to put them in the number 9. We're going to roll the action dice. Action dice say 10. I have to see what 10 says. D12 and replace the team if the position is filled. So we have to pull another team out. In this case, we don't have to re-roll if the spot is open. If the spot is filled, this team that we pulled out right now will replace that team, and the team that is on the board will go back into the hat. And right now we've got the Sea Lions, and we'll see if we're going to put them on a spot or replace a team. So they are just going to go into the number 4 spot. Get them unlocked. Move the Sea Lions into the number 4 spot. Some good-looking logos in this league. I like this one a lot. Let's roll some action dice. Number 8 means we're going to roll a D12 until a spot is open up, so there will be no replacement here. If for some reason we roll a 2, 4, 5, or 9, we will have to re-roll again until we do get one of those open spots. And we got the New York Sentinels. Josh, you ready for this? Where'd you say you wanted to be?
I'm aiming for like 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Let's see what we get for you. Well, how about 5, but you can't be there because it's already filled and it's not a replacement roll. So how you feel about 10? How you feel about 10? You know you're not going to probably stay there.
My luck, I'm going to be. Yeah, there you know what?
He hasn't said anything all show. What did he say?
Yeah, right until he said it sucks to suck. Right until my name comes up.
All right, action dice say number 5. We're going to roll a D12 until a spot opens up. Going to pull another name out of the hat.
Everybody's saying that the Snake Eyes was too early on the message board.
Is that what they're saying? It was early. I can't even get excited about it. It was so early. All right, the New Jersey Generals, our team that ended up moving from the Charlie League over in the Foxtrot League under new ownership. We're going to put them in the number 3 spot.
Oh, gosh. Real quick to answer Eric's question, just because it's not like you can still get a good pick there and it's not far for the turnaround. I just like being somewhere in the middle, maybe later than that. Like I don't want to be top 3.
I have no clue. I have no clue because this is my first dynasty. The rookies are involved in this, and he mentioned something about the draft order is going to change after round 3. So I have no clue what's advantageous and what's not as far as draft position in there.
We're actually still trying to figure that out with a 3rd round reversal about how many rounds does it take before the team that got the number 1 overall pick ends up starting to have an advantage again, because we really don't know what it looks like. We just know with the 3rd round reversal it balances. You go out there, some really good articles that are written about this, and they'll show you where the percentages are at and how it balances the playing field a little bit. So, but it never really tells you how many rounds do you get before it gets balanced back the other way. So we end up rolling 11, which is a lock the team. So if we roll a 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, or 10, that team will be locked in that spot for the rest of the draft.
Come on, 10.
No.
Number 3, the New Jersey Generals are not going anywhere. They are in the number 3 spot for the rest of the draft. And I'm going to pull the Generals off to the side so I don't forget that as we start moving these boards around. And let's roll some action dice.
Man, them Generals are already looking good under new ownership.
I heard they can save you a lot on car insurance.
So the 10 gives us a D12. We'll roll that. And if there's a team in that spot, we will actually replace them. The only team that we can't replace right now would be the Generals. If that spot is open, whatever team we pulled out right now will go into that spot. Eric Figueroa, the Orlando Renegades, will go into the, well, we can't put him in the number 3 spot because that spot is locked. So let's roll again. Going to put him in the number 9 spot. So let's get the Orlando Renegades unlocked. We're going to put him in the number 9 spot. The number 9 comes off the board. Got to put the Yard Dogs back in the hat. So let me make sure I grab them so they go back in. So everybody can see they're getting folded up right now and going back into the hat. And we're going to roll some action dice. And we're rolling a number 5, which means we're going to roll a D12 until a spot opens up. We've got half the team or half the league on the board right now. So we got 6 remaining spots. So we have to keep rolling the 12 until the spot is filled by the Tonawanda Lumbermen are going to go into the number 6 spot. So let's pull the Lumbermen off.
It's a hard name to say.
It is Tonawanda. Shoot.
It's kind of like saying onomatopoeia or
Tonawanda Lumbermen. Yeah, when he actually sent me that as a team name, I had to go look it up. I had never heard of that one before.
it sounds Canadian.
So I had to verify it was an actual team after he said it actually was 6. So we're going to swap teams positions with 2D12. I always like doing this one. The only one that we won't be able to move will be the number 3. So let's throw and see if we get 2 people to swap. Board's pretty full, so we might be able to move some people. 8 and 11, there's nobody in either one of those spots. So we're going to roll the action dice again.
Damn it.
Number 5 means we're going to roll a D12 until a position is filled. We've only got 5 spots left open on the board. Number 1 spot after it was filled with the very first roll has remained empty since then. Who we got coming out of the hat? We got the Yellow Jackets. Eric O'Neill getting ready to go on the board. And we're going to roll until we get a spot to fill. Let's clear it back to 1 12-sided dice. Eric, you can't go into the number 10 spot.
Why couldn't you just replace me?
You can't go into the number 10 spot.
Well, if you want it that bad.
You can't go into the number 9 spot. But you can go into the number 8 spot. So let's get the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets on the board in the number 8 spot. Get him unlocked. Move him over into the 8, and we'll roll some action dice. Number 7, again, rolling the D12 until a spot opens up. Maria and Brian, neither one of your guys' teams have come out yet.
That's because you dropped mine somewhere on the floor. It's not even in the hat.
Wouldn't be the first time it's happened, actually. Yard Dogs back out of the hat again. Yard Dogs are going to go into a spot as long as it's not filled. We have to keep rolling this dice until it is empty. Number 8 just got filled by the Yellow Jackets. Number 10 just keeps popping up. Trying to take you out of that spot, Josh. Number 7 is open, so we're going to end up putting the Yard Dogs into number 7. I think that moves him up 1 spot from where he was at just a little bit ago. So put him in the number 7 spot. Let's go back over here and roll some action dice. Number 11, we're going to lock another team on the board. If we roll any of these ones that are up there, it's pretty full.
Come on, 10.
No. No.
10's been pretty popular. Number 12, nobody's in that spot. Let's roll some action dice.
I saw 2 digits for a second. I got scared.
All right, we got the, what is that, number 9. 9 means that we're going to swap 2 positions with the D12. Let's roll these 2 D12s, and we get a number 6 and number 11. So the Tonawanda Lumbermen are going from 6 to 11. And we're going to roll some action dice. Number 11's popping up a lot. Possibility of locking another team here. And we are rolling the number 7. That means the Yard Dogs are now locked. Let me pull them off to the side so we know that we don't make any moves with them. And let's lock the Yard Dogs. Action dice. Number 7 means we're going to roll a D12 until a spot's opened up. We got 3 names left in the hat, 3 spots left open. Pull one out here. Let's see who we got. Still neither one of you, the Maryland Maniacs. So Maria and Brian, you guys are still out there. So let's roll a D12. 7 is filled. 8 is filled. We got the 1, 6, or 12 still left open. This could take a little bit. That's a 9. 1, 6, or 12 is open. Ooh, almost had the 6 there for a second. 1, 6, or 12. There's the 6. All right, the Maniacs are going into the 6 spot. That means at least one of you is coming out of the hat next, since there's only 2 left.
Maria will get 12. I'll get 1, and then
we'll swap right at the end. That'd be a crazy way to go. All right, let's see what we got. We are rolling an 11, which means we're going to lock a team to the board. It's the most locks I think we've ever had. So we are going to lock the number 4. So the Sea Lions are now locked. So let me pull them off to the side as well so we don't forget.
Now, this computer program is something that you created, or is something that
So the actual framework that you're seeing is just a graphic that I created. The 2 dice that are in there, it's just a website that I found. It's the same program split in 2 different screens, and then the OBS software is pointing to those 2 different screens, and it's just kind of embedded inside of the program itself.
Okay.
So I used OBS software 2 years ago, I think, when we did this. This is the first year we were doing it with StreamYard, and I had to use both in conjunction since we moved over to StreamYard. Since we're paying for it, we might as well, right? So the sea lions in the number 4 spot are not moving. Let's go back over to the action dice. We've got a 6, which means we're going to swap positions with 2d12. There's a possibility if somebody's not moving because we have so many locked teams right now. We have the 6 and the 5. Let's see. The Maniacs are not locked, right? And the Bell are not locked. So those 2 teams are going to swap positions. Bell is going to move back to 6. The Maniacs are going to move up to number 5. And we're going to roll action dice. I swear the action dice are just dragging it out for you 2. We can't even get you out of the hat yet.
Everyone will be locked before we go out.
9s means we're going to swap 2 positions again. We are swapping the number 4, which can't happen. That team's locked anyways. Let's roll some action dice. Number 9, we're going to swap with 2 teams again. 2 teams we're swapping this time are 9 and 11. Those 2 teams are still open. So the Renegades, let me get my mouse over there.
They're just dancing around me.
They are. The Renegades going to number 11. The Lumbermen, I'm not saying that city again, going to number 9. Let's roll some action dice. Action dice 9, rolling the 2d12 again. Now we are swapping the number 4 for number 11. Number 4 is locked. We can't move them anywhere, so no action is taken. Action dice say 10, which means we are rolling a d12 and replacing a team if the position is filled. So one of you are coming up onto the board, and you're going to replace a team unless you go against one of the teams that's locked. Then you're not going to go up on the board yet. Maria, let's see where we're putting you.
10.
You're saving the best for last.
Saving the best for last. Let's see.
And then he finds out that mine fell on the floor, and then...
Nope, yours is still in there. I can see it, I promise. All right, Maria, we're going to put you in the number 9 spot, and we'll pull in the Lumbermen off of the board. So let's unlock you. Let's get you in the number 9 spot. Let's pull the Lumbermen back off. So, hey, Brian, you're still not the last one in the hat because we're getting ready to put the Lumbermen back into the hat. So, back in the hat. Let's roll some action dice.
Our colors are the same.
Pretty close. Yeah, when I first opened it up earlier, I thought it was you. Number 7 means we're going to roll a d12 until a spot opens. So the 1 and the 12 is open. One of you is going to go into that spot, and we just have to roll until we get there. And it is going to be finally you. Got you out of the hat. Now, you're going to get 1 or 12. We just got to roll until we get there.
And you got it on the first try.
Let's see. Ooh, almost a 12.
Oh, I thought you rolled a 1.
2. There it is. Number 1 spot right now. So you, at the moment, you've got the first overall pick. But we know that won't last long, especially since we know that we've got to get one more roll in there before we get the end. Now, we don't naturally place the Lumberman right on the board because we still have to roll the action dice and something else might happen here on the board. So let's see what happens. So we got 8, which just means we roll a d12 into a spot is already filled. We're not going to sit there and keep rolling the Lumberman. We're going to go ahead and put him on the board in the number 12 spot. But like we said at the top of the show, something different we're doing in 2021 that we did from 2020. We're going to roll the dice one more time, but it's got to be action dice that does something. It can't just be a 7 or an 8 that says we roll it until we fill it. We got to make something happen. So let's see what happens.
Move me.
All right, number 11 means we're going to lock a team on the board that does nothing for us. So we're going to roll again. Number 5, D12 until a spot's filled that does nothing for us. Number 4 means we're going to move everybody up or down one position except for the 3 teams that are locked in. I'm going to roll the 12-sided dice. If it's an odd number, everybody moves up one spot. That means, Brian, in this case, since you're here, the board wraps. So you'll move from 1 to 12. If I roll an even number, it means everybody moves down a spot, and then you would move from number 1 to number 2.
But
So
two's locked in.
2 is not locked in. Oorang Indians are not locked in. The ones that are locked in are the Sea Lions, the Yard Dogs, and the Generals.
Oh.
And we are rolling an even number, which means everybody is moving down one position except for the teams that are locked. So this is what's going to be fun about this, all right? So everybody moves down 1. So
I'm fine with 2. I almost had 1, but I'm fine with 2.
All right, so the Lumbermen are going to go up to 1. The Renegades are going to go from 11 to 12. The Sentinels are going to go from 10 to 11. The Legends are going to go from 9 to 10. The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets are going to go from 8 to 9. The Yard Dogs are locked. That means the Bells skip over them and move into the 8 spot. The Maniacs move down from 5 to 6. The Sea Lions are locked in, so they don't move. The Generals are locked in, so they don't move. That means the Oorang Indians jump from 2 to 5. The Titans move from 1 to 2. And the Lumbermen end up moving to number 1, and that is your final draft order. Like I said, again, 3rd round reversal. I would love to be able to lock this in for you guys and give you the draft order so you can start trading picks right now. But as all of you know, MFL is down for maintenance right now. It won't be open back up until hopefully sometime Tuesday at the earliest, probably Wednesday at the latest. As soon as the draft order gets put in, I'll let everybody know on Discord. You all should also get an email from MFL saying that the draft order has been set, and you'll be able to go out and look at that. So as of right now, we got the Lumbermen number 1, Titans 2, Generals 3, Sea Lions 4, Indians 5, Maniacs 6, Yard Dogs 7, Bell 8, Yellow Jackets 9, Legends 10, Sentinels 11, and the Renegades at 12.
So after round 3, so technically round 4, it goes. So it'll go from 1 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 12, and then it's going to reverse again.
No. It'll go 1 to 12, 12 to 1, 12 to 1, 1 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 12. So only that 3rd round is reversed, so it matches the 2nd round, and then it's a normal snake every one after that.
1 to 12, 12 to 1.
12 to 1 again, 3rd round reversal, and then 1 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to all the way back through like a normal.
12 gets like 3 back-to-back picks?
No, it won't be 3 back-to-backs. It'll still just be 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would be the same thing as almost the 1 getting the back-to-back picks, but because they got the number 1 overall pick, they'll pick first and then 24th. But instead of getting the 25th pick again, they don't get pick until 36. So then the 12th place team gets 12 and 13 and then picks again at 35. So they just don't have to wait as long. There's not as big of a gap normally like it normally is. And then it balances out from there. So it'll be easy to see once the draft order is actually set up. You'll be able to see exactly what it looks like. There's a couple different ways you can look at it on MFL. I wish I could show it to you right now, but the site's down. I can't even pull up the screen to show you what it looks like. You can look at it in a straight line, or you can look at it in the grid, and you can see what it looks like. So Josh, Maria, Brian, any additional questions before we check out?
No.
How much to move me back up a little bit?
Well, you got to talk to the rest of the people that are in your league. See if you can't get out of that number 11 spot before draft day.
Yes.
Draft day. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go, man.
Oh my goodness, we always do this. Yeah, I'm putting it out there now. Pick 11 is on the market.
I think Carl just said number 1 is for sale as well. So.
Well, yeah, not that far up.
So the draft does start on 8 May at noon. East Coast time will be an email draft. So Carl will be on the clock at the number 1 spot. 6 hour per pick. It really doesn't take that long, even with 28 rounds. It sounds like it'll take a long time. I think the longest draft we had when we did the startups last year was like 11 days. So it doesn't take very long. People really into it. The clock will pause overnight between midnight and 6 a.m. East Coast time. However, you can still make picks during that time. It just doesn't penalize anybody for not making their pick. Yeah. Oop.
Yeah,
I
we're
have
emailing
another.
our picks to you.
Say again.
Are we emailing our picks to you?
Nope. It'll all be done on MFL. So
Oh.
you'll be able to go out to MFL when it's your turn to pick. You'll click on your name, click on the draft, and then you can make your selections there. So what we'll do probably so we're going to be live the next 2 Wednesdays in a row on the Fanatic the Real broadcast. We'll go now that once we get everything back and we can get on MFL again, we'll go through and show everybody how to do it again now that we've got all of the draft selections done. If you want to, we scratched the surface of it on the .com 101 show that we did last week. So somebody asked the same thing, how do you do a pick? So if you go back and watch that, it's on there too. But we'll do it again the next 2 Wednesdays before we actually have to do the draft starts.
And for those in any dynasty that is looking to trade picks, if you're moving up and down the draft board for Echo or for Foxtrot or just rookie picks in general for the first set, Alpha through Delta, make sure that you do know in the rule set, if you do trade away a future first-round pick, that you must pay for that season at the time of the trade. So first-round picks that are traded away for future years must be paid for.
So in that case, if you're trading away a first-round draft pick for 2022, you'll have to pay for 2022. And we'll walk you through the process because all of that will be done on League Safe now. So we'll show you how to do it. I know Sean from the Alpha League has already paid for his 2022 because of a first-round pick that he gave up during a trade. So we'll remind you as we see that come up.
I have another question.
Now, do both teams have to pay, or just
the team that gave it up?
So I feel like I know the answer to this one, but also just for other people in case they're curious about it. So the clock stops from midnight to 6 a.m. Say it is your, say 6:30 comes around, it's your pick, but you're at work all day. What would you do if you physically can't make your pick in the 6-hour window?
Hit me up.
Yeah,
you can hit me up if you want to. You can't go out to MFL to do it, but you know who you want to pick. Shoot me a text, get on Discord, shoot me a DM or whatever. I got commissioner controls over everything. I can make that pick for you.
You can also, if you know that your pick is coming up before you go into work or whatever it is that you have to do for the day, you can set pre-selected picks that will come up and go as soon as you are on the clock. All of that is set on MFL, and all of that was reviewed in the .com 101 series.
Yep. What I will tell you is this, from experience.
Pre-selected picks can be picked.
Well, that's why you got to put
a list.
A list
you can
of
set
them.
Yeah.
Make a list. Don't just put one on there. Put a couple of them on there in case you think somebody's going to be taken. What I will say, as we've learned from experience, do not let MFL pick for you because you'll end up with Andrew Luck because that happened.
Or Drew Brees.
2 years. Yeah, it could possibly be Drew Brees if he's still sitting out there as a free agent on MFL's list. But Andrew Luck retired so close to the start of the season, and MFL hadn't pulled him off their list for the guys that were set on auto draft for that year or let it auto pick for him. We had every single one of the leagues, all Alpha through, I think it was Alpha through Charlie, right? I don't think Delta did it because I think we all made our picks. Or, I mean, it was for each one of the redrafts. Each one of the redrafts had an Andrew Luck on their team. So don't let it pick for you. All right. What other questions do you all have? I got to go out here and read the 74 comments when we get all done. Nothing?
I'm clean.
You're good? Hey, one more shameless plug. So in case you all weren't paying attention in Discord and you're watching this, you're not part of the Alliance right now. I did an interview with a company called Ignite Your Business. It's a company that interviews entrepreneurs and talks about their business and things in the world of entrepreneurship. I did that interview and it was released on, I think Friday was the short version, and they did the extended version, or maybe the short version was Tuesday. The extended version was on Friday. It is out there for you to listen to. If you give me a little bit of time, because we've already worked it last night to add it as one of the carousel images that's on our website, fsa-fr.com. You go out there, you'll see an image, you click on it, you can listen to it. If you're really, really sleepy and you're having problems sleeping, listen to the interview. I promise you it'll put you to sleep. But it was a good interview. I'm hopefully you'll pick some nuggets out of it and go listen to it, pick up on some FSA history. But give us a little bit of time. I'll write you in Discord. We'll put it out there, let everybody know that it's out there. But you can also go out to Ignite. Is it Ignite Your Radio Show? I think is what it is, or Ignite Radio Show. We'll put it out there for you. But Ignite Your Business. Go Google it, and I'm the main image that's up there right now. So if you want to go out and listen to that interview, shameless plug, and I'll shamelessly plug it again on Wednesday night during the Fanatically Real broadcast. Josh, Kev, are you guys going to be on this Tuesday? Yeah,
I'm going to say yeah.
That is the plan.
That's the plan. Okay. And I got to throw a thing out there. I don't know if Eric is still out there watching or not, because I promised I would tell him. So the Empty Wagon guys had a little technical difficulties this past Friday going into Saturday, and were unable to go live. So we're going to get those technical difficulties worked out with them, and then they will be live this upcoming Friday/Saturday, midnight East Coast time. So just want to let everybody know they did not skip the week. They had all intentions and plans of being on. They just had some issues. All right, I think that's it. We're going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a good week at work, and then we'll see you Tuesday and Wednesday nights for the Average Bro Fantasy Show and the Fanatically Real broadcast. You'll have a good Sunday.